An open confession by Ambassador Marvin Yobana, a former African representative at the World Assembly of Youths and once a close ally of ex-governor Nyesom Wike, who recently shared details about what happened in Wike's local government area, Obiakpo, during the last presidential election. In a viral video, Yobana alleged that Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, won the highest votes in Obiakpo local government, according to official records from INEC. In his words, "It is on record INEC had a clear record that Wike's local government area, Obiakpo, Peter Obi won the election, but because I and the chiefs of staff and so many of us went on a protest and shut down INEC office, the result was changed. For 1 month, we were protesting there that the election was rigged and not correct." Yobana made it clear that their protest led to INEC changing the original outcome of the result and taking away Peter Obi's victory in Obiakpo. Take a listen.
Saying that Atiku is a failure or this man is a failure or not failure, I can't speak on behalf of Atiku. I did not support him in the last presidential election. Fubara did not support him in the last presidential election because we had an understanding, and Wike made us to believe that the South, the presidency is supposed to come to the South, and because of that, we had a meeting and we all agreed that we are going to support a Southern presidency. That is why you saw the number of votes that Ahmed Bola Tinubu got from Rivers State and the number of votes Peter Obi got also from Rivers State. Is because we decided as a people to support the Southern vote. I can make it clear and I can say it clear, it's on record. INEC has the clear records. The president even knows that Wike's local government, Obiakpo, it was Peter Obi that won. But because I and the chief of staff and so many others of us, we went on a protest and we shut down INEC office for 1 month. We are protesting there. That no, the election was rigged, is not correct, until INEC had to change the will of the people at that level. So then he says that Atiku is a failure. What did he contribute to make sure Atiku was a failure? It's just rhetorics. I am not a fan of Atiku, I don't know him, but I can say clearly for one, it doesn't add value to democracy. He needs to tone down this politics of hate. Rivers and Nigeria needs leaders that can unite the people, leaders that can give succor to the people, leaders that can bring hope to the people, and not leaders that keep tearing down, destroying the foundation in which they all stand on. That is not the kind of leadership we expect from Nyesom Wike.
By taking reactions to comments made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who on Tuesday said that Nigerian motorists can now purchase a litre of petrol at 1,000 naira per litre and a standard cubic meter of compressed natural gas at 200 naira. The president made the comment when he met with the executives of the Nigerian Independent Petroleum Company. The president also noted that the federal government has introduced incentives for commercial motorists to convert from petrol to gas free of charge.
Petrol for 1,000
naira per litre. What about Rufai?
You pay more.
You pay more. How much did you buy, really?
1,100.
1,000.
1,150. It's a place you 1,200.
1,000. Right.
If you want to avoid queue, you buy 1,200.
Okay, so I mean, we need to understand.
The president, he doesn't go to the fuel station.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay, all right. Well, all right. Let me take reaction. I mean, he's the president, so Nigerians will listen, and they're hoping to buy petrol for 1,000 naira per litre. Let me take this tweet from who wrote, widespread CNG adoption by motorists could lead to increased demand, potentially driving up prices. There should be insurance policies in place to protect third parties from potential damage or harm caused by explosions of retrofitted CNG-powered vehicles. I believe that was a good advice, but let me take this actual reaction, which is what a lot of people are talking about. This is from BJ, who wrote, "Very soon, CNG will go the way of LPG gas with a very high cost. We moved from kerosene just because it was deregulated. Gas was so cheap, but people were afraid of explosion. But they moved to gas and boom, price began to go up from 290 naira per kg to 1,500 naira per kg. Now, so it starts. Now, so it is start. I mean, I think that's the comment for the 200 naira for CNG. Ayo, your comment.
All right, so this is going back to, I haven't seen anywhere just to establish that 1,000 naira doesn't exist. Yes, they bought 1,070 naira, and there was a place where they sold for 1,200. And so the way we entered the station, we came out of the station as soon as we saw the price. But in saying that, there's a lot of merit to the tweet you just read, and that is how prices go up, and as it's traditionally said, once prices go up, it never comes down. First of all is that the availability of the CNG conversion centers or the CNG conversion kits haven't even yet been sufficient. So this presidential CNG initiative hasn't been very successful if we're being honest. We haven't seen that happen. So already there's scarcity. And what happens when there's scarcity? Prices go up because people are looking at, okay, everybody wants to go to CNG cars or use CNG buses because it will be cheaper. And then what happens then? Prices will go up. So again, it's the management, it's the preparation of this government to manage the reforms that they introduce, which is insufficient. I don't know how it will work, but people are even saying that beyond CNG, how about electric vehicles? Are we even ready for electric vehicles? Because that's where the world has moved to. Yeah. But let's hope that this CNG initiative, presidential CNG initiative, will finally be successful, and the Nigerians will be able to get cheaper access to transportation because the costs have come down. But at the moment, it's not happening. Yeah, and what they have said is very valid.
What I still do is I still go all the way to around that Agidingbi, not Agidingbi now, the mobile just after LTV. That's where I think that's Agidingbi. Yeah, that's where I get CNG. I mean, you were telling me about that. There's one in Shangote that I've not tried.
You haven't seen the Shangote?
I've not seen the Shangote. So, number one problem, the stations are not pervasive. You don't have them. Please, you can tell me if you've seen a CNG station in VI. I've not seen anyone. That's just it. So, you need to be able to ramp up those stations. Secondly, the conversion is still a big problem. Because, see, for you to convert a 4-plug engine, it set you back 1.2 million naira. Oh, in this economy, how many people have that 1.2 million naira? In an economy where 98% of the population does not have up to 500,000 naira in their bank account, according to NDIC. Yeah. Thirdly, all right, the availability is also another challenge, and the state of play as regards the economy of CNG.
I have a question.
Pervasively, what I still do most of the time is, because it's still a stretch, I still have to buy petrol because my car can use petrol and CNG because it's not readily available.
It is not.
So when they say ramping up, yes, recently also, in fairness, they put out the 10 billion loan. But how many people with the 10 billion will be able to go around as regards getting? So if they can ramp it up, at least we can get 1 to 2 to 3 million cars. The compressed natural gas is different from
the cooking gas one. So why are people asking and comparing that together?
So why people are asking and comparing that is this. See, the truth is because they are looking at the gas thing. But LPG is different from CNG.
Great.
That's just it. So we should be able to know that. You know, LPG is different from compressed natural gas. I think what they should do is to ramp up this. But I also know it comes a lot of money. I hear to install a CNG filling station. I think it set you back hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right. Well, let's take another story. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, on Tuesday, issued a warning to roadside beggars to desist from the act or risk being arrested by enforcement agents. Well, Wike made the comments during the flag of ceremony of a road construction. Well, later in the day, Wike ordered the immediate demolition of illegal structures at the Sabon Rugbe South District layout in the FCT when he paid an unscheduled visit to the site. He described the developers as land grabbers. Let's take a look.
Sir, we are not land grabbers. We are developers. Developers, what about developers? We have papers. We have submitted this paper to the authority. Verifiable. Hold on. Yes, sir. Approval is yes, sir. Yes. You have your cell phone. This is Media Council. This is Media Council. Not if you like, go and carry across. And the most one is there across. Who told you we have across? We did not arrest you, sir. It's a lie, yo. We did not arrest them, it's a lie, yo. It is a lie, sir.
Dr. Abati, you know I cannot comment because this is your story. Go ahead.
Anyway,
land grabbers.
Well, the Minister of the FCT, in whatever he does, should just make sure that it's fair. because the people that are called land grabbers, they are also citizens. But there is procedure for getting land. If you are to get land in the Federal Capital Territory, you must have the papers, you must have the title, you must have gone through the allocation process and paid due, fees that should be paid. It's not for the minister, to engage people like a headmaster and telling people to shut up. Even if they had grabbed the land, there is a procedure, that should be followed. And yesterday was a very busy day for Headmaster Wike, because apart from his engagement with the land grabbers, I think he was also said to have issued a directive that beggars will be taken off the streets in Abuja with effect from October 27th. He has given them an ultimatum where these beggars, they are also products of the deprivation in Nigeria. In some other jurisdictions, the priority should be care for them, should be to, maybe relocate them, rehabilitate them, provide opportunities for them. But, the minister was addressing the matter as if he's an emperor. If you come onto the street to beg for money, you constitute a security risk to the Federal Capital Territory, and the police will arrest you. Okay, if the police arrest beggars, what next? Because they are also citizens with fundamental rights under the Constitution. What should the FCT do for them to help them? But he did another good thing yesterday. He commissioned 40 quotas for judges of the Federal High Court in the Federal Capital Territory. Well, I think that's a very good thing. And he spoke well there about the welfare of judges and all of that. Talk carelessly to the judges. I think he behaved himself very well there. But, telling people to shut up, it's not a good style.
I know. I mean, I'd like for your comment, Ayo, as well on this one, in the FCT about this demolition, and he's ordering this immediate demolition without prior warning, without prior notice. What's going to happen to these people? We face this sort of conversation in Lagos as well.
The face of leadership must be with compassion and must be knowing that you're dealing with human beings. You're not dealing with statues, or it's human beings. These are people. So yes, we want to see law and order. We want to see things being done properly. But the manner in which you carry things out can make a very big impact. He was given an example of a big organization that we all know, whereby he had dinner with them the night before, and by the next day he had revoked their COO. So if he invites you for dinner, be careful in case. I mean, I'm just joking about that.
But it's the truth. That's what happened. It was Julius
Berger. Yes, he said that. They had dinner. Almost he said about. I mean, I think he was trying to reflect that there are no sacred cows.
Yes.
That even big organizations, but it's important that leadership must have a human face. We want you to do the right thing. We want you to enforce law and order, but we also want it to be done with heart. People are suffering.
Absolutely.
So we want people to not feel like they are in a draconian society where anything can happen. You can wake up one morning and your house is gone. There has to be a human face and compassion to leadership.
Well said, Ayo. All right, we'll take another story then. A former member of the House of Representatives, Faruk Lawan, was released from prison on Tuesday after serving his 5-year jail term over bribery charges. Faruk, who was the chairman of the House of Representatives ad hoc committee probing the multi-billion naira petrol subsidy fraud in 2012, was convicted and sentenced to prison in 2021 for accepting a $500,000 bribe from Femi Otedola, then chairman of Zenon Petroleum and Gas Limited, in what was a sting operation from the businessman. Faruk posted a video which has now made the rounds on social media of the moment he left the Kuje Custodial Center in Abuja. Let's take a look. All right, Faruk posted that video singing praises to God. We know this story. He was supposed to spend, 7 years, and he was released. I don't know. I mean, I believe he thought about gave him five years, and then he came out singing praises to God.
He left prison and he had to say, "I have not enjoyed my Range Rover."
But of course.
So
you know this subsidy scam, which is one of the biggest issues in recent times, is what the main issue is. What has happened to that ad hoc committee?
We all know what happened now. You remember Faruk was supposed to be that ray of hope.
Yeah.
That never was. This was the man that was supposed to investigate as regards that subsidy committee. So he sold himself and he sold his conscience. And kudos to the boldness of Femi Otedola to be able to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, people like this, that's always the story of Nigeria. We know what finally happened. President finally set up the INEC committee that investigated it. It was as a result, after offshoot of that, they now said they would take the subsidy away from the oil markets, because formerly the regime was the oil marketers would bring in products and they would go and claim subsidies. And they said that system was bastardized and corruption was filled in that system. And after the INEC committee, they resolved that, okay, afterwards, then definitely everything has to be with the NNPC now. But we all know the shenanigan that went on with the NNPC. So it's a cyclical problem. But Faruk was supposed to be that one that was different. But you can see how corruption eats into the system. And that's why I still believe strongly, Oji. Even when you look at the current play of state of petrol in this country, there's still a lot of corruption. If not the corruption, some subsidies as regards the state of play of the economy. But corruption eats up everything.
Yeah.
So it's finally gone, the court finally docked him. At least this was one person they docked. I mean, so when you say, when people break down our judicial system, also look at cases like Faruk Lawan, because the law did, take its course, and he went to jail and served a jail term of 5 years. So,
right.
I mean, it's out now. Probably he'll be able to move on with his life.
Move on with his life. A quick comment.
Faruk Lawan was a very vocal, very articulate member of the House of Reps in his time, representing the Bagwai Chanono constituency of Kanu State. And he was chairman of the committee of the House of Reps at the time investigating petrol subsidy. That was also the time when the Jonathan administration set up the IBTC committee to also look at the subsidy scam at that time. Now, the House of Reps committee, which Faruk Lawan chaired, came up with a list of 34 companies that were said to be involved in the subsidy scam. The story was that, he had approached Otedola for, a bribe of $3 million to take, to take out Zenon's name out of the list. And then he walked into a trap. He collected $500,000, which he hid in his babariga and his cap. And the rest is the story.
Yes,
he was convicted in 2021 for 5 years imprisonment. And now he's out. What can we say to him? Congratulations.